Now you'll see during the mock trial video that Ms. Earlywine asks the officer, Detective Malinowski, about his training and experience, and she uses this as the beginning of many of her questions. Let's take a look.
Based on your training and experiences, what type of physical characteristics have you come to associate with people who are impaired by alcohol?
Most common, I would say, bloodshot eyes, glassy eyes, the slurred speech. At times, you'll see people flush in the face, kind of staggered or unsure in their steps, and things along those lines, some swaying when it's inappropriate.
And during the course of your career and in your life experiences, have you smelled the odor of alcoholic beverages on individuals other than yourself?
Yes.
And have you come to recognize that odor as a distinctive odor?
Yes.
Based on also your training and experience, have you learned what types of driving patterns that might signify a person who is under the influence of alcohol?
Yes.
Could you tell us what
Again,
some of those...
Your Honor, I think we're going afield of a limited purpose in qualifications. We're talking about how other drunks drive, etc.
I'll overrule the objection. I believe we're still establishing a foundation for the witness's testimony. So I'll note it of record, Mr. Costello. You may answer the question.
Did you finish, Ms. Orlando?
Yes.
Very well.
Some of the driving cues of impairment that are taught through the NHTSA courses are turning with a wide radius, drifting and weaving within your lanes, disregard to posted traffic control signals or signs, and things of that nature. Things that would be inappropriate or unusual, like stopping inappropriately or at an odd angle, and things along those lines.
So what you want to do is you want to ask questions such as these. Officer, based on your training and experience, what are some of the physical characteristics that might indicate that someone is under the influence of alcohol? You saw Ms. Earlywine ask the officer that, and he gave some very good responses to that. Another question, based on your training and experience, what types of traffic violations are commonly associated with impaired driving? Most of the time the answers you'll get with that are things such as improper lane usage, or weaving within one's lanes, improper turns, things that definitely show signs of impairment. Again, you want to predicate your questions with the phrase, based on your training and experience. So another question would be, based on your training and experience, what effect does alcohol have on one's coordination? Based on your training and experience, what effect does alcohol have on one's ability to multitask? Same thing, on one's speech. Also, based on your training and experience, what effect does alcohol have with regards to odor? What does the odor of an alcoholic beverage smell like? And it's important to note that it's not the alcohol itself that has an odor, it's the odor of an alcoholic beverage. It's when alcohol is combined with some other liquid that it creates the odor. So you make sure that your officer understands to use that phrase, odor of an alcoholic beverage. Also, you want the officer, throughout your questions, to be able to stress that alcohol, again, based on his training and experience, is a depressant and slows everything down. That's what the impaired judgment is all about. Their judgment is slowed down. Their response time is slowed down. One of the other things that you want to do when your officer is on the stand is to ask open-ended questions, to give the officer an idea through your questions that it's his chance to talk to the jury. Say things like, officer, tell the jury a little bit more about that. Or officer, could you please explain that to the jury? Or please give us a little more details. And use the phrase give us or tell the jury so that the jury feels included in this conversation.